Okay, today we're doing Genesis Trespass from 1970. Six songs, about 42 minutes, produced by John Anthony. He did Trespass and Nursery Crime, among others for Queen, Pete Hamill, and Vandergraaf Generator. The album cover is by Paul Whitehead. Okay, it's blue and white, and it looks like an angel with wings right over here, peeking at two people, a man and a woman, and he's staring out at an area with columns. Here's columns here and then here. Okay. Looking at the blue skies and some clouds and the mountains. And the mountains are brown. You see them over here. And I don't know if this line here, I guess that's a knife cut, like from the song The Knife, which is the last song on the album. And what's this here? What is this? Right? See that? That's scary. See that guy? Yeah, I don't know what that is. Maybe that's Peter Gabriel. I don't know. This is the second Genesis album, but many consider it to be the first Genesis album. They wanted to get out from, they meaning Genesis, they wanted to get out from underneath the first producer, Jonathan King, and the first album was a commercial flop. It's called From Genesis to Revelation, and so as I go along and I say this is the first Genesis album or the debut album, just go along with it. I know better, but people don't like Genesis to Revelation, and I was asked to skip it and this and that, and I don't even own it because it's hard to find. And if I get it someday, that's what maybe I'll do the review. But I got this on CD. This is an MCA CD. It's very old. You can tell it's old because it's got the AAD marker right here, which is how they were ripping from analog to digital back in the day. So it's a very plain disc, and then on the back you've got the track numbers. There's 6 tracks and the names of the songs and all that. It sounds like an earlier Genesis on the same pathway that Yes was in 1970. It's symphonic rock, progressive rock, folk rock, art rock, prog rock, whatever you want to call it. To me, it just sounds like old 70s prog, and the album is dominated by the keyboards of Tony Banks and the singing of Peter Gabriel. 4 of the 6 songs are keyboard driven, and 2 of the songs are unusual in that they have 2 12-string guitars, and one of them has a bunch of guitars on it. The band is Peter Gabriel. He's lead vocals, flute, accordion, tambourine, bass drum. Anthony Phillips is acoustic 12-string and lead electric guitars, dulcimer, and backing vocals. He only did a few albums with the band. Anthony Banks, or Tony Banks, on organ, piano, mellotron, guitar, backing vocals, but he's the main guy, really, when you think about it. Mike Rutherford is on bass, and then he plays the other 12-string guitars, and he does some cello and backing vocals. And then John Mayhew is the drummer. He's the original drummer of the band. He did a couple albums, drums, percussion, backing vocals. They all sing, which is cool. All songs are written by Banks, Gabriel, Mayhew, Phillips, and Rutherford. All lead vocals by Peter Gabriel. Others, they all contribute to the backing vocals, as I said. And for this, I don't have sheet music to this, but I looked at Chordify.net in lieu of the sheet music, so I can't see all the key changes or the time changes, but I have an idea. And honestly, this isn't the most proggy stuff ever, certainly that Genesis has done or any other band. But it's like proggy, but I don't think there's a ton of key changes and all that stuff going on in there. Anyway, let's get into it. Track 1 is Looking for Someone. It's 7 minutes and 8 seconds, and the first thing you hear on the album is Peter singing Looking for Someone with a light keyboard underneath him, and you kind of get the feel of what prog Genesis is all about in the first song. The keyboards are driving the action with drums and guitar and bass, providing some music to carry it along. It's in the key of B major. It's a slower tempo at 4/4 time, and the song arrangement is verse, 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 bridge, and then there's this break, jam, solo, whatever you want to call it, at the end, and then the outro. The verse is looking for someone. I guess I'm doing that either. It's 8 bars, and then the bridge part is nobody needs to discover me. I'm back again. It's 12 bars. And then that solo jam thing that I was talking about, it runs from 2 minutes and 42 seconds to 4 minutes and 24 seconds. It starts with wipeout drums, kind of like a Neil Peart deal, but then the keyboards, then the guitar takes the melody, and the band is playing in sync. It's da 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 da. It's about a minute and 42 seconds for that whole jam thing. The outro part of the song is the last part. It's looking for someone, and now I find myself a name. That's what Peter's singing. And there's an outro jam that starts at 4 minutes and 57 seconds to the end of the song. Da 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 dot dot dot, or like kind of like that. And it's about 2 minutes and 11 seconds long. The second track is White Mountain. It's 6 minutes and 46 seconds from end to end. This is a weird song. Da 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 da. The keyboards cruise through the song. That's pretty much the song. I mean, it seems like a fight or a battle between Steep and Fang. I can't follow which is the fox and which is the wolf and which is the mountain. It's got this weird story, but it's in the key of D minor. It's 176 beats per minute, and it's in regular 4/4 time. The song structure is verse, bridge, the flute solo, verse, bridge, flute solo, and then verse, bridge, outro, or coda. The verse is thin hung the web like a trap in a cage. It's a 16-bar verse. I counted all these out, by the way. The bridge, outcast he trespass where no wolf may thread. It's 24 bars. And then the first of the break, or flute solos, if you want to call it, it's a minute and 47 seconds to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It's which feature a very light hidden flute solo through the entire part of that section or break. It picks up more steam around the 2 minute and 10 second mark. And then there's a second flute solo after the second bridge, I guess. And that runs from 3 minutes and 20 seconds to 4 minutes and 7 seconds. So, not quite a minute, but just short of that. The outro starts at 5 minutes and 6 seconds and runs to the end. It's about a minute and 40 seconds long, mostly flute and some light, airy keyboards. Track 3 is Visions of Angels. It's 6 minutes and 55 seconds long. This song has a strong verse, pre-chorus, chorus, traditional pop structure, kind of like a Beatles song almost. It has a 27-second intro of keyboard and guitar. I wouldn't say it's a pop song, but it has some of those British pop tendencies, a la Syd Barrett or of Pink Floyd or the Beatles, but it has a real late 60s-ish vibe to it. Not really your atypical Genesis song, but okay, it's Genesis doing a quasi-pop song. It's the song arrangement is literally verse, pre-chorus, chorus, repeat that, and then repeat it again. That's the song. It's in the key of G major, and it's 88 beats per minute. The verse is standing in a forest, gazing at the sun. It's 8 bars. And then the pre-chorus is I see her face and run to take her hand. It's a 6-bar pre-chorus. And then the chorus part of it is visions of angels all around dance in the sky. And the keyboard's doing this. Ba 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 ba. It's actually kind of a catchy little keyboard ditty. And then around the 2 minute and 35 second mark, there's a little ditty jam until the end of the song. And that's Visions of Angels. Track 4 is called Stagnation. It's 8 minutes and 51 seconds. That's probably the longest song on the album. It features a piano, an organ, and mellotron by Mr. Tony Banks. And then this is the first song that has the 2 12-string guitars, which gives it a really different vibe and feel from the rest of the album. It's in the key of A, and it's a moderate time signature. The intro was just the part. It's a quick intro. And then the verse is, here today the red sky tells his tale. It seems like a 13-bar verse to me. And then the break runs from 1 minute and 9 seconds to 4 minutes and 3 seconds. It's guitars, like real arpeggiated guitars for about 54 bars. Yeah, I counted that out. And it's 2 minutes and 54 seconds with an organ type solo on top of it. It's fairly conservative organ solo. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's not like Tony Banks is flashing his awesome piano skills, which he does have incredible skills. But I think that is the main part of the song. This is another trippy, folky, almost religious song that defines this part of the song, the whole song, and this album, really. It seems too serious for me to enjoy. But that's kind of like the vibe of this album, is what you hear on this break from 109 to 403. The second verse ends with a part where Peter sings about waiting beside the silent mirror and fish for bitter minnows amongst the weeds and slimy water. And whenever I hear that part, it really rings in my brain. The imagery isn't good, and it doesn't make sense, but it's always a part of the song and album that stands out. No matter what I'm doing, I immediately cling on to that part. Probably because he's singing about fishing. But the third verse is the big jamming climax of the song where he sings, "I want a drink." And it's kind of got for this album, it's got a more funner feel to it, the "I want a drink" part of it. There's a flute solo by Peter Gabriel from 6:53 to 8:51, and it's about 38 bars. Excuse me, it goes a long way, but it's nothing too flashy, but it's cool. I like that they have flute solos on Genesis albums. The outro is "Then Let Us Drink," and then that's the song. The song arrangement is intro, verse, break, verse, flute solo, and outro, and that's the tune. Track 5 is called "Dusk." It's 4 minutes and 14 seconds. Again, two 12-string guitars by Rutherford and Phillips. I think it's another religious song, or a song using religious themes for sure. It's in the key of B major in 4/4 time. It's a verse bridge, another flute solo, and then a final verse and bridge. The verse, by the way, if I haven't said it, Peter Gabriel lyrics are just very, I don't understand. "See my hand is moving, touching all that's real." It's 8 bars. Peter sings these verses. The first one's very quiet. The second one, when he comes back around, it's very strange. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. The bridge, "The scent of a flower, the colors of the morning." It's 12 bars or so. They all sing in the bridge, so I guess that makes it more like a chorus, but it's not a chorus. They're not repeating the main idea or the theme of the song. It's just, I think I'll call it a bridge. It's more like a bridge. The flute solo runs from 2 minutes and 8 seconds to 3 minutes and 10 seconds. It's 23 bars or so for about 1 minute and 2 seconds. The final track on the album is track 6. It's called "The Knife." It's 8 minutes and 58 seconds long. And let me just check now, because I thought the other one was longer. Well, "Stagnation" is not as long. So "Stagnation" is 8:51, and "The Knife" is 8:58. So about the same length, but "The Knife" beats it. It's a song with lyrics influenced by a book about Gandhi and the Kent State University shooting of 1968. And to me, "The Knife" is the best song on the album, the one that makes the most sense. And this song would work well with really any Genesis album. It's in the key of A flat major, I think, and it's in the 4/4 traditional time. The song arrangement is verse, bridge, solo, and then part 2 is the flute solo, and then another bridge, and then a guitar solo, and then an outro. And that's how they made it long, is by having additional solos, and that's the deal. So part 1 is the faster tempo part of the song. The verse of part 1 is, "Tell me my life is about to begin." It's 12 bars, or it's 8 bars of singing and 4 bars of music at the end. And then the bridge is, "Stand up and fight, for you know we are right." It's a 16-bar bridge. And then after that bridge is the guitar solo or jam. And it's fairly long. It runs from 2:18 to 3 minutes and 51 seconds, about 44 bars total, with the tempo change. And then there's a segue into part 2. Part 2 starts with the flute solo, and it's like a slower tempo part of the song. The flute solo runs from 3:51 to 4 minutes and 44 seconds. About 53 seconds total for 16 bars. And then the first verse or bridge or whatever you want to call it, it's more like a verse, but it's the part 2 verse. "We're only wanting freedom." And then that segues into the guitar solo, which runs from 5:24 to not quite to the end, but it's like a dare, beep, beep. It does that kind of thing. And then, na, 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 not, dot, 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 dot. It does that kind of thing. And then the final keyboard solo kicks in around 7 minutes and 37 seconds until the final coda or outro. And the end of the album is the final part of part 2 of the song The Knife. We have won, somewhere you are going to die. And to me, it's the most interesting song on the album because it's got more energy than all the other songs and definitely more, I wouldn't say rock and roll feel, but a heavier prog feel to it than the previous 5 tracks. And that's the album. The summary, the sales, it charted number 98 in UK and 25 in Hungary. Otherwise, no other sales to report. That's like, to me, that's like King Crimson low. It's actually not quite as low as King Crimson, but nobody sells as few albums as King Crimson. But it's still low. Like, think about it. Nobody has heard this album. I don't know what that means. Genesis is such a huge name in rock and roll, especially if you think about later 70s and 80s. ProgArchives.com gives it a 4.13. That's off of 2,713 ratings and 227 reviews. That's a lot. That's prog bona fides right there. And it says what the prog fans feel about the album. AllMusic.com gives it 2.0 stars, and Rolling Stone gives it 3 stars in 2004. It also gave it an unfavorable review on August 1st, 1974. Gordon Fletcher, the writer, and I quote, "Spotty, poorly defined, and at times innately boring. Should be avoided." Unquote. I mean, honestly, my take is that it's kind of a dreary and drab album. It's just, like I said, the final song, The Knife, works for me. The rest of it includes the elements characteristic of later Genesis albums that feature Banks's keyboards. I think it's like a 2.5 or a 3-star album. Not one of my favorites, and I've been listening to it a lot lately and not enjoying it that much. But it's it's getting me to appreciate the history of Genesis and what they've done, and what they're gonna do. Really, when you think about their '70s material. Okay, that's it. Pretty good a review, huh? Do you like it? Well, if you like it, you can leave your comments. And if you don't like it, you can, I don't know, what would Luke Thomas say, pound sand? Or, you can, if you don't like it, leave a comment and tell me why you didn't like it, and I'll respond. I like when you guys leave your comments. You can like the video, and you can subscribe to the channel. Most of you listening aren't subscribers, so isn't that interesting? And next up on the channel, if you want to hear more, I'm going to do the first David Gilmour solo album from 1978. And that's going to be a fun one for me because I like that album. And then after that will be Nursery Crime by Genesis. Thank you, and I'm out.